You have the power to manifest absolutely anything you desire to do, be, or have. Mirror work, scripting, visualization, affirmations, the 369 method. All of these techniques for manifestation allow you to have, be, or do absolutely anything you desire. Manifestation is how I manifested my husband. It's how I was able to buy a home, how I got over 5,000 subscribers in 1 month on YouTube. It is how I got a parking spot today. I truly believe that we have the power to create anything we desire to do, be, and have. Ever since The Secret, more and more people have become aware of the practice commonly known as manifestation. But there are a ton of misconceptions. And on a recent video that now has over 70,000 views, a lot of you asked a lot of questions around manifestation and how all of these techniques work. In this video, I'm going to break down some of the most common manifestation techniques that you may or may not be familiar with, how it works, why it works, and some of the misconceptions that are stopping you from seeing the results you truly desire. If you're new here, my name is Tanya Bravo, and I'm a transformational coach that is obsessed with helping you create the life and business of your dreams. Go ahead and click that subscribe button and let's get into it. Manifestation, put simply, is a practice that involves aligning your thoughts, your actions, your beliefs, and your feelings with what it is that you desire to bring them into real life. Now, here's the thing. We are always manifesting, whether we are consciously aware of it or not. And I feel like this has become a buzzword or something that you have to learn how to do. I just want to remind you that whether you are consciously doing it or not, it's always happening. Sometimes we are manifesting and creating outcomes that we do not desire. And sometimes we're manifesting and creating outcomes that we actually do desire. I want to help you do more of the latter. If you've watched a few of my videos, then you're probably have heard me say how I have used this to sell out my retreats, to book more clients and grow my business, to find my husband. And I have used almost every technique under the sun. And common truth that a lot of people do not realize is it's actually less about the technique and more about you. All of these techniques actually work. The difference is you and you finding the most aligned technique that can get you behind the feeling. Because the goal is that you actually are acting, believing, feeling, and thinking as if the thing that you desire is already so. For some people, they do that really well through journaling and scripting. Other people prefer to listen to affirmations. Potentially, you do better at visualization or mirror work. Where a lot of people get tripped up is they start to almost idolize the practice that they believe will get them the manifestation more than recognizing that it's actually you. These practices are simply that. They're practice for you to practice to get behind the feeling. I like to play with a few different ones to really see which is going to help me most easily get behind the feeling of already having the thing that I desire. So, to give you an example of this, when I was wanting to manifest my husband, I actually first did some scripting. I wrote the list as if it was already so, and I really focused on the emotions and feelings of what I would be feeling, thinking, experiencing if I was with my dream partner. I had all sorts of things that I wasn't saying that I am desiring these things. I wrote them as if I already was with this partner. Now, that helped me get the initial visualization of what this person looked like and represented in my life. And then I started to integrate other techniques. I started to actually visualize how would I feel? What would a day feel like with my future partner? And I would go in great detail. I would pretend in my mind, this person didn't exist yet, that I was going to lunch with him, that I was going to dinner. What are we talking about at dinner? Now, I didn't have an image of what that person looked like, but I would loosely visualize the experience and really start to feel into the sensations. Same thing, I shared this video of me doing some mirror work around selling out one of my retreats. And while that is one of the things that I did, I also that night went home and scripted about it. I use this really simple but powerful example to really make it clear that it isn't about choosing one technique or the other. It is about finding the thing that is going to support you. Let's break down a few of the most common manifestation techniques and how you can use these as practices to bring you closer to the things that you desire. The law of assumption, simply put, states that whatever you assume to be true will become your reality. This, to me, is really just one of the foundational principles of being able to manifest. In almost every manifestation technique, the law of assumption is going to be rooted within it. For example, if I'm listening to affirmations about how I have increased my finances or how my business has taken off or how I have created more amazing friendships in my life. The goal of those affirmations is for me to start to really believe in my subconscious and conscious mind that that's already true, even before my reality has caught up. I gave the random example earlier of manifesting a parking spot. Earlier today, I was going to brunch in an area where it's very hard to find parking. As I started to drive up, I have thought, oh, it's going to be so hard to find parking. I caught it. I stopped myself and I said, no, actually, I just found an amazing spot and it was so easy. Of course I did. I pulled up in front of the restaurant, parking lot's completely full, and someone gets up, walks to their car that is literally the spot in front of the front door, and I took their spot. I don't think that's a coincidence, but it's that law of assumption. I assumed that that was already happening. So the law of assumption is acting as if, believing as if, feeling as if. Now, one of the ways that I like to use this is I call it who is she energy. And you can change that for whatever makes sense for you. But I like to embody the personality, the identity, the version of me that I would be if my desires were already true. So if my business was already impacting millions of people around the world, who would I be? How would I show up into rooms? And when I say who is she, that's really that energy that, that je ne sais quoi when someone walks in a room and they have this, oh, who's that energy? I mean that, but taking that everywhere. So who would I be when I go and order my coffee? Who would I be as I'm washing my dishes? And it's little things from the thoughts that I'm thinking to literally the embodiment of how I show up in a room. Maybe typically I might have cowered off into a corner and wanted to hide in the background in certain places. I might walk in with my shoulders back, my head held a little bit higher. I may talk with a little bit more assertiveness and confidence and clarity, even when and if my reality has not yet caught up to that version of myself. I'm always asking myself, how can I show up as the identity, the version of me, the person that already has the things that I'm desiring? A lot of my desires right now are business related. So, growing my YouTube channel, I ultimately desire to write a book. I want to speak on stages globally. I like to bring the energy of who is the Natanya that's already there. How do I show up in spaces, both publicly and privately? Because a lot of this starts when you're by yourself. So, if I'm already this version of myself, what is my self talk like in the mirror in the morning? What is my inner dialogue when I see something doesn't work out the way that I hope that it did? What do I believe about myself when I fail or I publicly make a mistake? Because if I'm already that version of myself that's on the other side of the goal, then the way that I talk about myself is going to be very different from the person that's trying to reach those things, right? I like to use this law of assumption and match it with this who is she energy because I want to walk into spaces both by myself and out in the world with an energy and aura of confidence of already knowing, believing that I already have everything that I desire, that I'm walking fully in my purpose, that I'm fully expressed, that I'm fully aligned both internally and externally. Scripting is a big one, which is a really great practice. And as I shared in my video about scripting is the act of journaling or writing as if the thing that you desire is already so. So instead of writing, today this happened and I felt this, that actually happened in your real life, I would write what would have happened. Everything I desired was already so, but I'm writing it in advance. It is a simply just journaling, but journaling as if what you desired already happened. Instead of writing what actually happened that day, I'm going to write what I desire to happen that day or that week or that month. As I've shared on this channel before, I am very clear right now that 100,000 subscribers on my channel is already done. And so I may write in my journal, wow, I'm so proud of myself for getting to 100,000 subscribers on YouTube. It felt easy. It felt fun. I love showing up for this community. I love seeing the comments from people around the world that are being positively impacted by the videos that I put out. Now, again, that hasn't actually happened in my real life yet, but I'm going to be journaling, scripting, as if it's so. I'm literally writing the script for how I desire a specific or multiple areas of my life to go. I could be scripting about multiple unrelated things. I may script a little bit about some things that I desire to happen in my business as if they're already so. I may script about friendships. I may script about my relationship. I may script about my child. But again, you are writing it as if the thing that you desire has already come to fruition. I'm so grateful that my retreat sold out with ease. This weekend was an incredible weekend with my husband and my son. We had so much fun. But I'm probably writing that even before the weekend has even started. And you can go out as far as you want to. You could be writing about tomorrow. You could be writing about next year. I could literally script how my entire 2025 is going to go. I'm going to do a future video on that. So make sure that you subscribe if you haven't already, because I want to set you up for an amazing 2025. Then we've got mirror work, which is the practice of intentionally looking yourself in the eyes. And typically this is done to speak positive affirmations, which I did a video on that version of mirror work, but I've also done it to manifest things that I desire. And I have another video on mirror work that shows you how to do that. But to give you a general sense of it, you are essentially keeping intentional eye contact with yourself. And I am verbally, audibly scripting in the mirror. So I'm jumping up and down. I'm saying, oh my gosh, Natanya, you made it. You got 100,000 subscribers. Your YouTube plaque just came in the mail. It's amazing. I'm so proud of you. It feels good. And sometimes I'm saying me and I, and sometimes I'm saying you. Again, you have to play around with this and see what feels most aligned and comfortable for you. There's no right or wrong here. There are no strict and hard rules. This is just another tool to get us behind the belief, the feelings, the emotions of already having the thing that you desire, which will accelerate the process between where you are and bringing that to actual reality. Then we've got affirmations. I always say that I essentially brainwash myself all day with affirmations because when I'm in the car, I'm not listening to the radio. I am literally listening to affirmations of positive statements that I desire to integrate into my subconscious mind and have them as my core beliefs about myself, about the world, about what's possible. By affirming positive things that are aligned with what it is that you want to manifest, I am loved, I am safe, I am abundant, you are helping bring that to your current reality because you're feeding that to your subconscious. Now your actions and feelings each day have no choice but to match up with that. The 777 or 369 technique, now these vary, but essentially it's the art of writing down what it is that you desire multiple times a day. The 777 is you write it down 7 times in the morning, 7 times in the evening for 7 days in a row. The 369 is you're writing it down or affirming it out loud 3 times in the morning, 6 times in the afternoon, 9 times in the evening. Again, I don't think one is stronger than the other. It is just the repetition that is helping you more quickly get behind the belief that it's already so. I hope that you're starting to see a through line that at the core of all of these practices, these techniques, is you having the belief that what it is that you desire is already yours. And these are tools to help accelerate that process because we do have a lot of doubt. We do have reality and our bills and our bank accounts staring at us, telling us, no, this is not possible. No, this is not yours yet. These practices help us quiet a lot of that logical noise down so that we can allow ourselves to actually get behind the belief, which is what is required to bridge that gap between where you are and what it is that you desire. Let's talk about some of the questions that often come up during this process. How many times do we need to do this? Do we do it just once or do we do it every day? I truly do not believe that there are any rules. So my response to this is really what is going to help you get behind the belief that what you desire is already done. If doing it one time and going all out with your practice is what it takes to get you there, great. If doing it every day for 30 days, like I shared in my Delulu challenge video, is what it takes to get you behind the belief of it already being done, great. There's no right or wrong here. You really have to intuitively trust yourself to be able to tap into your feelings and emotions. The most important thing is that you are not just saying words and affirmations, writing things on a piece of paper, or speaking to yourself in a mirror. It's that your feelings and emotions match what you're saying. They match what you're writing. They match what you've put on your vision board. Can we manifest for other people? Here's my personal belief on this. I do not believe we can control anyone else but ourselves. However, I do believe that if you desire something for someone else that ultimately will have a positive effect for both of you, focusing on yourself and what you would feel, think, do, be, have, if that manifestation worked out for the other person, can have a ripple effect if it's in that person's best interest. I really want you to concentrate on self and how whatever it is that you desire, whether that is for yourself or for someone else, is positively impacting you. We're not here to try to control or manipulate other people. When we're talking about these practices, I truly believe that if it's in your best and highest intent, then it will work out. And if that involves other people, that's totally fine and great. But you really want to be focused on how does this positively impact me and for my highest good and my purpose and how I show up in this world. When it comes to things like scripting or journaling or affirmations, people will ask, well, do we say the thing every day? Do we listen to the same thing every day? Do we write the same thing every day? Again, whatever is needed to get you behind the belief that it's already done even before it shows up in your reality is what is going to best serve you in getting behind the manifestation and actually seeing that come to fruition. If that means that writing it every day is actually helping you, great. If writing it every day is actually reminding you that you don't have it, don't do that. So sometimes I do scripting just one time. I get excited, I feel the feelings, and I put my journal away and I never look at it again because I need to stay in it's already done, and keep writing about it will remind my logical brain that it's actually not done. Other times, it actually is helpful for me to write about it every single day. Sometimes I'll write it exactly the same. Sometimes I'll change it up. I am following what feels best for me. I know a lot of people will talk about manifestation, tell you the rules, and this is exactly how you do it. I believe that's actually counterintuitive to how this works because the whole base behind this is that we have so much ability to create what it is that we desire. Why would we need to follow an outside man-made set of rules? These techniques and practices that were created by other human beings are great, but they are simply tools to what you innately have the power to do with or without these tools. They're just helping you remember how to connect to your inner knowing, how to trust yourself again, how to connect to what is already there for you. And sometimes we forget that we are able to do, be, or have anything that we desire. Can I manifest for multiple things at once? Absolutely. I have done scripting or mirror work where I will be talking through multiple desires at the same time. So I may say something like, oh my gosh, I just hit 100K YouTube subscribers. It felt amazing. And this month, it was so easy to sell out my next retreat. I'm so excited to meet this incredible group of women. And it's been such a fun and easy month with my husband. We are so in sync. Our communication is great. I could be talking about multiple things at once in one journal scripting entry. But again, if talking about multiple things is going to have you feel disempowered and have you feeling like, oh, I don't have all of these things yet, then don't do that. So, what's really at the core of all of these practice? One, you've got to be clear on what you want. So many people actually struggle with this more than I think they even realize. A lot of us think we know what we want, but we're actually just following what feels like the next logical step in our lives, or what our parents want, or what our partners want, or what our friends want. And we put those on as if they are ours when they really aren't. You really want to be in alignment with what is it that I truly desires. If money wasn't an object, if no one was going to be disappointed by me or hurt by me, what would I desire? I think that's a great starting point question to journal on. What would I desire in all areas of my life if money was no object and what I desired would not hurt or disappoint anyone else? That way you can be really honest with yourself and not put limitations there or expectations on maybe things that really are not your true desires. Then we want to start bridging the gap between our current belief around what's possible for what we want and where it is that we want to go, which is ultimately what I want is already mine. there might be a little bit of space in between those two. You might have a lot of space in between those two, which is why I always say you want to meet yourself where you are and gradually move towards. Of me saying to myself that I impact millions of people around the world, maybe I felt some resistance there. I may say something like, I impact more and more people each day, because putting a number on it might be too big of a jump for where I am right now. Starting to affirm through positive statements, thoughts, and beliefs and feelings what it is that you desire, while also meeting yourself where you are and gradually moving into being more specific around meeting that goal. And then trying some of these practices. As I shared in my Delulu video, I did 10 things a day for a month. So I was doing 10 different practices each day. As I shared in my scripting video, sometimes I've just done scripting or I've just done mirror work. So there's no right or wrong here. And so many techniques out there. Some of us are more visual. Some of us prefer to write. Some of us prefer to speak. So finding the practice that's going to help you best start to get behind the belief of closing the gap between where you are and where it is that you desire to be. Here's what happens. As you start to do some of these practices, you now start to take more aligned steps with bringing what it is that you desire to reality, which again helps speed up that process of actually manifesting your goal. The other important thing is that you want to practice gratitude along the way. So even before I have completely manifested my end goal, i.e., I want 100,000 YouTube subscribers, which again, I even feel weird saying I want it because I actually really believe that that's already done and I'm already on to the next goal. But using that as an example, I am going to practice gratitude for every single subscriber that comes in, because I know and trust that's just another sign that I'm on the right track, that it's already mine, that it's all working out in my favor. So instead of looking at how far I have to go or how it hasn't happened yet, or I'm waiting for it to happen, I am acknowledging and expressing gratitude that what I desire is already in progress. It's already coming to fruition. We are always creating whether what it is we desire or what it's not. We are always creating what we actually desire and what we don't desire. So why not consciously create the things that we want with ease? I also encourage you, especially if you're new to this, just do these things on a daily basis. You can do one of them, you can do all of them, you can do 3 of them. Decide what is going to best keep you in the highest, most positive vibe that you can stay in, so that you can always be on the other side of the manifestation, even when your current reality shows you otherwise. And be patient. Detach from needing it to happen in a specific timeline or come in a specific way. One of my big intentions as a business owner and content creator is to remind you of your own innate power. And I think somewhere along the way of life, we sometimes forget our own inner power, our own inner knowing, because there's so many voices outside of us that tell us, no, it's you want this, or no, you need to do it this way. In every video, while I may share a practice with you, I always want to remind you that the most important thing here is that you are aligned with your own intuition and knowing. We are all such powerful creators. And after working with so many clients in my business, helping them build their businesses, helping them get aligned with their personal lives, one of the common stopping points is not just knowing what to do, but having the belief, the identity, the practices that align with the person that's bold enough to bring that vision to life. And that is always going to be my intention on this channel, is to help the person behind the vision to take off the mask, the roles, the identities that do not serve us, to remind you of your own inner knowing and power. If you're looking for additional coaching support as we start to move into 2025, I'm opening a few spots on my one-on-one calendar. I'm going to put that link in the description to book a session with me, and I look forward to being able to support you with bridging the gap between where you are and where you desire to be. Thank you so much for watching. Be sure to check out my other videos and don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. I'd love to hear from you in the comments about what techniques you've tried, what has been most helpful for you, and I cannot wait to see you on the next one.